Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm Tony Schiavone's smoking jacket.
And I'm General Clusterfuck.
Welcome to episode 103, Halloween Havoc 1993.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal. We're going to make a deal, guys.
Only
Devil
if you spin
or
the wheel.
vampire, or maybe with Vader.
Oh, it's time for the Havoc, eh?
Hopefully we can have us a good Havoc.
I hope.
I'm fingers crossed every time we Halloween comes around on this show that we have a good Havoc. One of the best named shows in WCW.
Definitely one of the best named. Yeah, let's hope the spin the wheel, make the deal gimmick goes a little better this time, and we don't end up with a
Coal miners on a glove. You don't like that?
That's what it was. Coal miner's glove. I could only think of like coal miner's daughter, and I knew that was wrong. It's like, what the hell was it?
That's not Loretta Lynn, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sissy Spacek, whichever you prefer.
I like them both.
This is the fifth Havoc produced by the WCW. It would take place on October 24th, 1993 at the Lakefront Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Nolans.
With an attendance of 6,000 people.
Hey, it's WCW numbers, baby. Six thou.
Hey.
What's our sweet spot?
Paid for or given away, 6,000 seems to be their magic number so far.
I would love to be one of the people that got papered into a 1993 WCW show.
Right.
Unless it had Bowl in the title. But, you know, we'll talk about bowls at some point.
I'm sure we will. But our first trip to Louisiana in quite some time. And I believe it's Shane's first trip to Louisiana.
So I couldn't remember if I'd been there yet or not. I was trying to... There's so much southern food with the Georgias and the Mississippis, and I couldn't remember if Louisiana had squeaked in there once since I've been around or not. But
I couldn't call it.
We're diving right in. So, New Orleans. Food-wise, there's one thing that immediately comes to mind, and that would be the po' boy. It can be a variety of different meats stuffed inside of French bread. One of the more popular and my favorite is the shrimp po' boy. Fried shrimp with some sort of a slaw, a simple sauce, sometimes just hot sauce, mayonnaise, and a little bit of ketchup or tartar sauce or something like that mixed in with it. But enough to bring out the savory flavors of every ingredient that's in there.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with the po' boy.
Even like a bad po' boy still isn't like all that bad.
No. I like the seafood variety. I guess there's roast beef varieties that like this garlicky chuck roast that's been just marinating for hours and hours fall apart, and then it's one of those, it sounds similar to like the Chicago style or whatever, where they actually dip it in the juices just so it gets that extra flavor. I haven't had one of those, but it sounds...
I feel like a po' boy has to be
delicious.
Really, I feel like a po' boy has to be seafood, but I know it doesn't. But
that's
it feels
what I thought
like
too.
It should be.
This one here is the shrimp po' boy from Cajun Corner right here in Oklahoma City. We have two locations. I went to the one in Uptown on 23rd. Again, there is a kind of a Cajun slaw, some green onions, a Cajun mayo. It's got a good little kick to it, nice and crispy. Loaded with shrimp.
It does. How close was it to too hot for Matt?
I was wondering that too. A little bit of heat to it.
It had a little bit of heat. I mean, my mouth was a little on fire for a little bit. But
it dissipated pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. I'm good.
It wasn't like a ghost pepper slaw.
No,
definitely not.
Probably just like some sriracha or something.
Yeah, but it's got it's got the heat to it, but then it has like that built-in cooling element as well. So it's just, It drives me back for another bite. If you're ever in Tulsa, I have to give a shout out to my favorite in Oklahoma, LaSalle's. It's killer. Go for the full-on loaded seafood po' boy and get a cup of the crab and corn bisque. It's ridiculous. I'm going to take a bite of this one, though, and let's get this show on the road.
While he's taking
a big old bite.
Something that happened a few weeks prior to the show, Demolition Man would be released into theaters, starring the one and only
Axe and Smash?
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Oh, that's right.
He is in that movie.
Forget, there wasn't Schwarzenegger.
I'm surprised he didn't talk about it more during the show. Spoiler alert for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
I guess it's one of those things where it's like, maybe he's waiting for it to be as big of a hit as Predator, and then he'll just drop it every chance he gets.
I mean,
I don't know how well this
Arnold
movie did
wasn't
in the
in
theater.
it. This was his first real, non-Arnold venture. So,
but it has, other Arnold.
He's got Stallone.
Yeah, it's Stallone and
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock with the simulated sex.
Oh yeah, their helmet sex.
Yeah.
Neat.
And Wesley Snipes, right?
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
Loaded card here. Do you know this was like one of the
Rob
first?
Schneider.
Oh yeah, damn, and all 3 seashells.
That's right.
You know that this movie was one of the first to have like over the top, the Taco Bell thing. It's like over the top in your face.
Oh, product placement.
But it's where they like do like a fancy version of the logo and stuff. But in other countries that don't have Taco Bells, I believe they're owned by the same company. So they like basically crappily changed the logos, like probably with primitive computer technology, and put in like a Pizza Hut, and you can find that on YouTube, and it's pretty funny.
I was wondering if it was going to be Pizza Hut or McDonald's.
Is McDonald's and Taco Bell the same company?
Yep.
Is it?
Of
food, meh.
Yeah. Who knows? That's not important.
Yeah.
But
Taco Bell, Pizza Hut,
McDonald's. I thought that's
KFC.
It's my fun little Demolition Man drop. So now you can use this in conversation next time you are talking to your friends about Demolition Man. And they'll probably roll their eyes like you guys are at me. Like, why does anybody know this?
I mean, I think it's a great fact.
I didn't know
thank
that
you.
at all. But I'll be honest, this is one of those that I've never seen.
Fun.
It is. It's a fun movie. It's definitely not Stallone's best.
It's
by
not a
any
top
means.
tier like action movie, but it is really fun, and I'm a sucker for anything that takes place in the future, especially when it's dumb and not particularly realistic.
Yes.
And it also doesn't really like poke fun at itself in an annoying way or anything like that.
I want to say I remember hearing Lori Petty at one point was going to be, she was up for the role.
Oh, yeah.
Originally had the role, and
That
then
wouldn't
it went to
surprise
Sandra
me.
Bullock.
Oh, yeah, Lori Petty probably would have been better than Sandra Bullock. I like Sandra Bullock, but this is not the kind of movie. It's like Speed, sure, but Lori Petty, running around with a gun, it sounds better than Sandra Bullock running around with a gun.
Well, let's go ahead and head off to Halloween Havoc.
So you ready to spin some wheels, guys?
I'm ready to make some deals.
We open up on a scene on a neighborhood street.
Oh, my God.
Kids are out trick-or-treating.
I'm so excited.
A young boy has a great idea, but the young girl that's with him mentions the Halloween Havoc is about to start. The young boy says he wants to pick the next house, but the others make fun of him for picking a house that gave them fruitcake.
Is it Fat Dracula? Is he the mean kid?
Yeah.
I think
I was
so.
trying to remember the costume, but
Yeah, there's like Fat Dracula, a witch, and a Frankenstein, I think, probably.
But the real deal is the house that gave them fruitcake. Like, who gives fruitcake for Halloween?
I mean, especially
That's just-
like in
that's just
'93,
wrong.
pure 5 o'clock news panic about people putting needles and drugs in there. No one's giving out fruitcake, candied apples. Come on, candy's got to be wrapped. Mom's got to inspect it.
The young boy then points at a house surrounded by a fence, and creepy music and fog begin to fill the air. The gate opens, allowing the kids to walk towards the door, with them being scared.
It's a spooky house. I'd be scared too.
They ring the doorbell, which was a Wilhelm scream,
Love it.
and the door opens, and it's the scariest person of all, Tony Schiavone.
In a smoking jacket.
The young girl recognizes him and asks him why he's not at the pay-per-view.
I love that these kids know that there's a pay-per-view and they're out trick-or-treating and they recognize Tony Schiavone. I mean, you know, how many 8-year-old girls are going to be like, it's Tony Schiavone.
Hopefully not that.
Oh, Jesus. Not what I was setting up, but
Tony responds with that he has a helicopter that's waiting to pick him up in a few minutes. The young boy then asks what the smell is. And Tony responds that it is his wife. She's baking cookies. And if they would like to have some. So he then, very creepily, invites the kids into the house for a bite of the cookies.
Very creepy.
Tony is so good here.
Very good.
So funny that they, like, I guess, like, who else are you going to use? Can you imagine if JR was doing this? I feel like Tony probably is going to do a better job than JR. JR would have probably been funnier just because of seeing his hillbilly ass dressed up. Like, Tony's just goofy all the time anyway. He just has that look about him.
I'm just trying to picture, like, Bischoff in it or something.
Oh, I think Bischoff would ham it up, but he's not there yet.
No.
He's not putting himself all over the screen quite yet.
No. I mean, Tony so far, I mean, just within the first couple minutes of this little video, I was very surprised by how much I admired what he was doing.
Yeah, A+ for effort, for sure. It's super fun.
Very not Tony.
But these kids don't want treats. They want to be scared. So the kids enter, and Tony shuts the door, but magically is then up on the stairs all of a sudden. And the young boy asks him, how did you get up there so fast?
He said, I'm related to Matt Hardy.
He actually responds with, all things are possible on All Hallows Eve. Frightening, chilling things like spin the wheel, make the deal. Just one haunting spin will lock Cactus Jack and Vader in combat when it lands on one of its many ghoulish, haunting matches. And the young boy says, that's not scary. So Tony then rips
I don't know,
his
did
face
you watch
off,
92? Sorry.
showing that he's a creature of some sort, and the kids run away.
He's a bat. It's a really...
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was.
I'm
pretty sure it's
an ant.
I think it's a bat because he's like a Dracula,
Like,
but
is
like
it pumpkin
the
head,
face.
or-
I think it's got like the weird pig nose of a bat. It's a really bizarre and kind of horrific mask.
I don't know. I swear there's another glimpse of it later on in the show.
Is there?
You know, spoiler alert. I can't remember exactly where it was, but somebody was wearing a mask or something flashed across the screen that reminded me of.
Oh, they do some
Tony.
like Pazuzu and Exorcist thing where they like splice it in
Something
and don't tell you about it.
pre 2020 Bray Wyatt, where it's just like that.
But it cuts to black, and Eric Bischoff then welcomes us to the show dressed as General Custer before sending it to Schiavone and Jesse the Body Ventura at ringside. Tony is dressed as Jesse, while Ventura is dressed as Bourbon Street's #1 gynecologist.
He has a like really like the like scary doctor mask on, but he takes it off immediately and doesn't wear it again. But I mean, Tony is the MVP on this show at this point in time.
Yes.
We got the incredible video package, which I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I loved every second
I
of
thought
it.
it was great.
Big ol' smile across my face. One of my favorites that they've done, I think.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping we get to reenact it.
It was a long one. I don't know if it was...
I mean, dibs on Fat Dracula.
Oh. It's the best part. But, yeah. And then him dressed as Jesse? Come on.
Yeah, he was very good as Jesse. Jesse, on the other hand,
It's a cheap joke.
cheap joke, and it's just like instant cringe.
Yeah.
New Orleans #1 gynecologist.
Yeah.
Thank you, mayor, senator, congressman, whatever the hell you were at that time. Ventura.
But then we head to our first match.
And it's a doozy.
Oh, is it ever?
Harlem Heat of Kane and Kole, and the Equalizer versus the Shockmaster, Ice Train, and Charlie Norris in a 6-man tag match.
Poor Heat.
God, poor Booker. That's all I could think of as this match was coming into play.
Yeah, I was like, well, at least
Poor Booker
they're
is
on the
gonna
show.
get better.
They better get Harlem Heat. I was like, Harlem Heat, Booker or Stevie Ray better get the fucking pin.
Sorry, is he Kane? Kane? Is that
Oh, shit. I think that...
I can't remember.
To be honest, I literally write the Kane and Kole down just so you know that they're still Kane and Kole at this point. But I'm going to call them Booker T and Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
From now on.
I feel like I know who's who, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't right
think
now.
They know.
I believe Kane is Stevie Ray and Kole is Booker T.
Maybe.
But I think they even forget who they are in a different show.
Yeah, because they know how stupid this is.
But the match begins with Ice Train thumping Booker around to begin as he has the size advantage. Norris and Shockmaster join in with arm work as well.
Oh, Shockmaster, you trucker hat. God. Ah.
You say that, but
Not trucker hat, sorry.
His hard hat? Yeah, he's an electrician. He went
That's
from,
what he is.
He
He's
went
an
from
electrician.
disco stormtrooper to electrician. Pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, he went from...
Maybe he was the electrician for the Death Star.
He went from,
He caught one of the
gay
pods.
sailor in love with Hulk Hogan to earthquakes, bitch.
Typhoon.
Sorry, Rumble and Splash. I still want that shirt, Rumble and Splash.
It's good.
But the craziest thing is that Shocky is getting reactions for every move that he does in this match.
Is it because he's big? Did they pipe it in? Crazy. Shocky. Oh my god.
Ice is tops to the ropes where he is kicked in the back by Stevie Ray, followed by a drop kick from Booker. Harlem Heat with a double side slam on Train, and Equalizer telegraphs a back body drop, so Ice drops him with a faceplant.
Jesse. Look at the traps on that guy, talking about Ice Train. It's already about the trap talk. He ain't got no neck.
I love Ice Train.
I love Ice Train. He's like...
I don't know why I love Ice Train, but I love Ice Train. Matt just legitimately leaned forward and looked at us like we were crazy.
I have note on here. Ice Train, pre-Biggie, pre-New Day.
He just has a very likable face. He's handsome, has really good energy, and he looks like a monster, but he looks like a monster that you want to,
He reminds
have a
me of
beer
Biggie,
with.
just
Let's
not as big-breasted.
Oh, yeah. Big E's, got the largest pecs of all time.
Yes.
After Norris is unable to take down the Equalizer, he tags in the Shockmaster, who runs through the Equalizer multiple times before hitting a body slam, as the crowd breaks into a whoop, there it is. Whoop, there
Oh my gosh. I wish that before the show we did a over-under on Whoop Day It Is chance. Because there's so many.
Do you know why they were chanting it at this time?
Well, that song is hot. They do it at every show, even WWF shows.
It was the number 2 song on the charts at the time.
Ooh.
I mean, it feels like it has been for a while.
And I mean, it's tag team. It's wrestling based right there.
I mean, you guys remember saying that as a kid all the time, right?
Well, I was a teenager, but
Oh, well, yeah.
But
As a
yes,
kid, my
still.
friends said it all the time whenever something cool happened, or they were winning in a video game.
Whoop.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Train and Shocky with the double back elbow. Charlie with a massive chop and goes for the cover.
Massive.
Only to be broken up by Harlem Heat.
And I think right here is where Shockmaster's underwear is already hanging out somehow from.
Well, he's an electrician,
Actually,
not
I think
a plumber,
he's wearing.
but they are moderately
I
similar.
think he's wearing wrestling tights under his jeans.
Well then his
So his jeans are just like
electrician pants
really
falling down.
low.
Yeah. Electrician pants.
But Jesse even has comments about outside the ring he's a klutz, an oaf, is a danger to children, and I couldn't agree with Jesse more.
It's crazy that they allowed Jesse to just shit on Chalk so hard, considering they're still trying this, and he just doesn't even give it a chance. You would think that they would be like, all right, Jesse, at least try to make him he's big at least, and they're letting him
reverse psychology with it though.
Oh, okay.
Jesse's gonna tell me I don't like this guy, so I'm really
gonna
gonna like him.
yeah, I guess I can see that, but I, for one, like Jesse. But kayfabe is dead, so of course I'm loving Jesse right now.
Norris heads towards the corner to confront Harlem Heat when the Equalizer hits him from behind. After a reversed Irish whip, Charlie runs into a big boot and a clothesline from the Equalizer. Booker T with a body slam, Harlem Heat with a double clothesline. Booker continues with a knee drop and a twirling scissors kick for a 2 count.
Fuck him up, Book.
Another body slam and Booker T goes for a second rope splash. But Charlie moves in time and makes it to his corner for the Hot tag. Shockmaster in with clotheslines on everybody. Applies a bear hug to Booker.
Oh my gosh.
Before slamming him down while everyone else brawls for the pin and the win.
It's like they couldn't have pinned Booker T.
What the hell kind of a finishing move was that, though?
I know, it was like...
A bear hug slam?
Yeah, he's
It
like
wasn't
bear
even a
hugged him,
slam,
and then all he
though.
did was like... And then he just sort of decided to like drop
Yeah.
drop onto the floor.
They even showed the replay when he dropped down, and Booker just lands on his feet and then falls backwards. So, I mean, it's just a bear hug that puts him back down on the ground.
I mean...
It's the Shockmaster.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What do you expect?
And again, I have... don't
It's-
worry, Booker. It gets better eventually.
I was just
it
thinking
gets
of,
five
like-
times better.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think of like a clever name for the finisher, but I couldn't quite find one with good words because like he follows through like the set dressing, but like what can we apply here to
The
the
Shockmaster.
Shockmaster? Shockman.
And then my other note of, oh, poor Charlie, why are you here?
I
Oh,
know.
right, because this match is trash.
Booker had some cool offense, but of course he did. He's Booker T.
Yeah.
He's got the panache.
He's warming up that spinneroonie.
Post-match, Shocky and the Equalizer are brawling until Shockmaster hits a clubbing forearm to knock Equalizer to the floor. We then go to the back, and Eric Bischoff is there with Terry Taylor
TaylorMade?
in a referee uniform.
Oh, did you guys catch that Stevie Ray just had to like ignore the pin? Like he was obviously right there and could have broken it up, but he that was the finish, and like he happened to be in the wrong spot, or they did it in the wrong spot, and he was obviously close, and he just kind of had to legitimately like ignore it, and you could tell he felt kind of awkward about it.
Just trip on your own feet, man.
Yeah.
So we're told that there will be 2 refs for the WCW International World Championship match later on in the show.
International world.
Terry.
It's an international world, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep.
Why is Terry a ref? I don't think I like this.
I mean, I just want the man to get a paycheck,
I want him to get a paycheck,
but I'd
damn
like
it,
for it to do maybe happen in the ring.
You left WCW as, tall and tan, tailor-made Terry Taylor. So now you're back with your little red rooster haircut in
Maybe
a ref
he's hurt.
suit.
Maybe he's over it. Maybe he's just been. He could have been in the last match.
I want what I want when I want it.
I can honestly say this might be the last time we ever see Terry Taylor.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I didn't look it up,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like he's long for this world.
Yeah. Well, I hope wherever he is, if he is alive, I hope he's happy and healthy.
He's
Hope
still producing for WWE.
Oh, okay. He's got a job. Didn't know that.
But Terry does say he's done a lot of bad things in his life, but here I can do something good. I'm going to call it right down the middle.
Ooh.
He even does the little hand sign.
Hell yeah.
Back on
Down the
the
middle. Right like his old mohawk. Right down the middle.
We then go to our second match. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with the Assassin versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Woo! And this is what I want to see. This is the kind of shit that I want to see up and down every card. Not everybody's Paul Orndorff. Not everybody's Ricky Steamboat. But,
These two are.
But these two are. And I want to see tasty shit like this.
Well, you almost didn't see this match
Oh?
because Mr. Wonderful actually replaced Yoshi Kwan as he got injured the weekend before.
Could you imagine Ricky Steamboat wasting his time on Yoshi Kwan?
I kind of want to see Ricky Steamboat beat the shit out of a guy with that gimmick, though.
But these are like 2 guys that I'm like always high on Steamboat, and Paul's been around for a long time, but he has been looking incredible as of late, and I feel like I need to go back and watch.
The Foley match again? Or
No, just like Paul from
just
from
more Paul
earlier.
stuff?
Yeah, like Paul in some like Madison Square Garden shit back in the day in the 80s.
Because, yeah, I mean, it could have just been...
Because he's already had like a full career, just like Steamboat kind of, and they're both still 2 of the best people, like probably the 2 best wrestlers in the whole fucking building right now.
In the beginning matches that I saw with him, obviously the first one I remember seeing was Mania 1, but, you had the Hogan effect in there, and it was a tag team match, and it was just kind of... Because I hated Hulk Hogan already, so...
Orndorff is mean and fucking lean, and I love him.
Oh, give him a big-ass shovel, and all of a sudden you look at him differently.
So Paul attacks from behind as Steamboat takes his wings off. laying it in with right hands, a head slam into a turnbuckle, elbow drop. But Ricky sneaks up behind for an O'Connor roll for a 2 count, only for Orndorff to hit a clothesline to send the Dragon to the outside. Orndorff with a body slam on the rampway heads back into the ring to pose, allowing Ricky to come flying into the ring with a crossbody, only for Paul to move to avoid.
I love this ref being super hard on Paul. Feels like he's not having any of Paul's shenanigans.
Laying down the law.
Yeah.
Steamboat hooks the arm as they are running the ropes to take Mr. Wonderful down, locking on a hammer lock and multiple arm bars. The Dragon drags Orndorff to the corner, slamming Paul's shoulder into the ring post.
Posted.
And then runs him into another ring post and a guardrail.
It's that long arm work session that we know is done well, so it's because it's Ricky Steamboat. It doesn't feel like you're wasting my time.
No.
Because these guys know what the fuck they're doing, and Paul Orndorff really is the whole package.
Every move has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the ring, Ricky continues with more arm work, even splitting the fingers.
I didn't hate it here. Normally I hate the finger thing. I felt like I liked it here.
Until Mr. Wonderful escapes and goes for an elbow drop, only for Steamboat to avoid. Multiple clotheslines from the Dragon, followed by falling fists and a knee drop, before a big chop sends Orndorff out to the floor, where Paul is slammed into the steel steps.
And a little kid yells, "You loser!"
Ricky's back in the ring and looking to drag Mr. Wonderful back in, but the ref intervenes, allowing Orndorff to yank Steamboat off the apron, slamming his head into the apron multiple times before sending him flying over the safety rail to the concrete floor.
I know, something we don't see very often. He's out there with the fans, and Paul's really selling that arm like he should be.
Once they're back in the ring, Paul hits a top rope elbow drop for a 2 count before tossing the Dragon to the ropes, and they both go for crossbodies for a double KO.
And it doesn't look like ass. Sometimes these look really bad.
Yeah.
Double
leg takedown by Mr. Wonderful, grabbing the ropes for leverage. But the ref sees it and kicks his hands off the ropes.
I know the ref's even selling it. Started hard on Paul, keeping it on. Kicked him. He kicked the man.
Yeah, and
that's not very referee-like.
6 or 7 kicks. He didn't just do it once.
No. Pio's got that grip. Look at those arms.
Which allows Ricky to roll Orndorff over for a near fall. Paul's tossed to the rampway, and Steamboat comes off the top with a judo chop, followed by a running atomic drop that sends Mr. Wonderful flying back into the ring. The Dragon then comes off the top again for another flying judo chop. A double chop for a 2 count, but Ricky then telegraphs a back body drop, so he receives a faceplant, and Orndorff goes for the pile driver. But Steamboat counters into a back body drop and a jackknife pin, which Paul bridges up out of, and the two men are both trying to turn it over into a backslide, only for Mr. Wonderful to flip the Dragon over into position for the pile driver. But Ricky counters again for the catapult into the corner, makes the cover for the pin, and no!
Damn.
Orndorff kicks out.
I know.
Oh.
Steamboat with a back suplex and goes up top for a flying body press. But Nick Patrick, who is the ref, his real-life dad, the assassin,
What?
jumps on the apron to distract him. So it's only a 2 count.
What the hell kind of bullshit is that?
Is this real life dad thing like?
It's not known.
Okay. I was like,
I just brought it up.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to clarify for myself.
We've mentioned it before.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking. I don't have that in my note of hearing them say that.
The Dragon is then arguing with Patrick, allowing Paul to hit him from behind. But Ricky comes right back with several flying shoulder tackles for near falls. Steamboat's chopping away when the ref gets between them to allow Mr. Wonderful to get off the ropes. So the Dragon tosses Nick Patrick away, charges at Orndorff, who ducks and pulls the top rope down, sending Ricky flying over to the floor.
Fly, Dragon, fly.
The assassin then puts the foreign object into his mask.
Loaded mask.
And headbutts Steamboat from behind, knocking him out on the floor.
No, not the boat.
The ref makes the count out, and Paul Orndorff is the winner.
For subbing in what was probably just going to be a moderate squash match or whatever. I understand that it's like, okay, it's better if neither of these guys lose because they're top fucking talent. And if Ric Flair fucks off, like, either one of these guys can hold this belt at really any given time, and no one will bat an eye about it being undeserved or lame or whatever. And Ricky Steamboat, maybe his best, like, facial performance, because Steamboat is kind of, like, incredible in the ring, but kind of always just feels like a blank slate as far as stuff goes. But he's really emoting and meeting Paul Orndorff there.
Yes.
Paul Orndorff could be like half of the wrestler, and he would still be great just because of how much he commands everybody around him with his like body language and facials and stuff. Saying I liked it a lot. That's all.
We had
Loaded mask's always stupid, but
yeah,
it's okay.
We had
a
gem of a match, and then that ending.
Nobody should have won here, I don't think.
It shouldn't have won.
We're lucky we got what we got.
I would have rather seen just somebody come down. You know, they had mentioned during the match issues that Steamboat was having from a match with Vader. You know, send down Harley Race or something to, you know, interfere or something like that just to get the match stopped. You know, come in and distract things. But a loaded mask, especially when it was something that looked like just a tissue paper got stuffed up.
It was
in
like
there.
a magic eraser.
Yeah.
But
lame.
Yeah, the loaded mask, undoubtedly lame, but absolutely everything before that, must-watch shit.
Yeah, I'd
my
watch
opinion.
it again.
We then get Tony and Jesse talking about the big gold belt. And they tell us that the crew is headed out on a European tour next week. And the WCW International Board of Directors sent out a memo that they do recognize Rhodes' title as a world title. So the match tonight for the belt is a world title match.
So what does this mean?
It was very convoluted
what are you
thing
trying
that Tony
to
said.
Can you tell me like I'm 7?
So remember that this belt was the NWA world title.
Yeah.
But the title had already been changed at the previous pay-per-view to the WCW International World Heavyweight Championship.
Uh-huh.
So now they were just clarifying that it actually is a world title.
But didn't like Vader also have a belt that you don't actually see?
So Vader is the world champion as well.
Yes.
So basically they're setting up that they have 2 world champions.
But like, spoiler
apparently
alert,
international world and just regular old world are 2 different things.
Yes. But yeah, Vader doesn't
Well,
even
it's supposed
have
to
a
be-
belt. Like, I don't know if he had it on the last show we covered, but I'm pretty sure later in the show he comes out with no belt. Granted, the belt's
It's
not on the line, but you should still have it with you.
Oh yeah,
Like,
fucking champion.
just because that automatically makes it mean more, even if it is a not a title match.
Or maybe that was his character back then of fuck this belt, I don't need to carry it around.
And it's not the international world. It's WCW International World Heavyweight Championship.
They're international because they do shows with Japan, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sure. That's
Hey, I'm trying to connect the yarn on this poster board of madness.
Yeah, my note that I wrote down was big gold mumbo jumbo. What the fuck did this mean? Because it was just.
he was talking in circles, and I was just like, "What?"
I know we'll get to it in a bit.
I got what he was saying, but he said it in a weird way that made absolutely no sense.
I know we'll get to it, but I think that Big Gold probably looks the best on Rick Rude than anybody ever.
Ric Flair, sir?
But Rick Rude's incredible body, his big old porno face, is just statuesque.
I don't even know if Rick Rude is even in the top 5 people that I think of when I think of Big Gold.
No, I'm just saying as far as just as a visual, just as a visual,
how
not
it
saying
looks
like
on him.
my favorite or whatever. Just the way it looks on him is just like feels like it was made for him.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm not putting him above Ric
It's that
Flair or anything.
champion's physique that he has.
Yes,
Gotcha.
he just looks like it just looks like it was custom made for him.
Yeah, he's got like that 10-pack, so those top and bottom one
Yeah.
abs will like hold the belt into place.
Yes.
So we're headed off to our third match. The British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, versus Lord Steven Regal with Sir William for the WCW World Television Championship.
See, and look at this. Another tasty-ass match.
That's right. You got a Battle of the Brits.
Michael Buffer is our special guest announcer, as he will be for all of our title matches. And match, they start looking like they're going to go, but his lordship doesn't really want to hook up with the commoner to begin things.
He's all oily. He doesn't want that greasy man to touch him.
Steven Regal rules.
But once they do, it begins a game of can you top this in mat wrestling between the two. Regal has Davey Boy in a cravat only to toss Lord Steven off, hit a monkey flip, and apply a surfboard. But Sir William jumps onto the apron, causing Bulldog to break the hold and scare him away, allowing Regal to nail Davey Boy from behind.
And I'm loving this catch stuff and really surprised with DBS keeping up here. Like, I know he's great, but he's, a big power guy, and it feels... my eyes turned into hearts. So I was just like, it's so nice to know that he is well-rounded and potentially sober here.
Can kind of sort of breakdance with his little backspin.
Several shots to the gut from Lord Steven, but Bulldog comes back with a crossbody for a 2 count. Regal then catches Davey Boy low with a knee before hitting a somersault senton for a near fall. Lord Steven with a hard Irish whip sending Bulldog chest first into the turnbuckle, followed by several European uppercuts, only for Davey Boy to hit a sunset flip on a telegraphed back body drop for a 2 count. Regal's back on the attack, hooking on the cravat once again, as the ring announcers say there are 5 minutes remaining.
Oh my gosh, it just started.
Bulldog elbows his way out and begins to fire up with clotheslines, as there are 4 minutes remaining, only to run into a knee in the corner. Lord Steven then applies a half Nelson as we get to 3 minutes remaining, which Davey Boy powers up to get Regal onto his shoulders. But Lord Steven wiggles free and ties the Bulldog back up. Again, Davey Boy powers up. Regal wiggles free onto the apron, delivering a forearm across the chest and tries for multiple pins.
You think maybe the oil from Davey Boy earlier is now working to his advantage with all this wiggling?
It might be.
Could be.
When the Bulldog flips Lord Steven over into a pinning predicament of his own for a 2 count, followed by a head scissors. 1 minute left, and Davey Boy hits a clothesline, a vertical suplex, and picks him up onto his shoulder, which knocks Sir William off of the apron, hitting the running power slam for the pin, and the Regal kicks out with 15 seconds left.
Can you believe the kick out? I couldn't believe the kick out.
Bulldog then hits a pile driver and makes the cover as the time limit expires.
So great. So great. I love that right after the suplex or whatever, Steven tries to roll out, but just doesn't get it. He's got the right idea. He's like, fuck it, I'm just out of here. But nope. He gets lifted for that power slam. And he kicked out of the power slam. Like, that's not...
At like the 10-minute mark, they showed Regal on there, and he's just like raining sweat. I don't think I've ever seen him sweat that much.
I mean, there was that one time where he talked about how he hadn't broken his sweat, and he was
didn't
doing
have
the
to break
promo.
his sweat.
Yeah. Yeah.
We go to Eric Bischoff on the stage in front of the wheel, and Vader and Harley Race join him so that Vader can spin that wheel.
I know. I love the shaky knife. It's like a knife on a spring that's like the arrow for selecting or whatever. But once they spin this wheel, it just jiggles around all funny like.
Yeah.
As it spins, pyros going off.
Pyros, they did a nice job with the pyros because it distracted from the wheel as it started to slow down. Because looked like it was a more planned pick this time.
It was a gimmick wheel,
Yeah,
definitely.
I had a feeling.
And it lands on a Texas death match.
Woo! Yeehaw. Oh, man. We are recording this a little bit later than we planned, but I meant to wear my Texas Deathmatch t-shirt for this show. Damn it. I forgot to. It's horrendously ugly.
But then we're off to our 4th match. Stunning Steve Austin versus the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, my God. Look at all these tasty combos.
For the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship.
Now, if there's one thing that I love, it's a match with some Steve Austin and some Dustin Rhodes.
Oh my god! Yes. This is like probably our fourth one.
Halloween
last
Havoc
years,
is really impressing me with its lineup.
You know, so you have to. Sometimes you gotta chuck a Norris to get to the good stuff.
Sometimes you gotta spin a wheel to make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sign in the crowd that says, "Stunning Steve is the wrestler of the 90s." And I literally went, How right are you?
Yeah. How did you know?
Don't even know it.
Yeah.
Yep.
How could you tell? I mean, I guess maybe they did know it. They didn't know how big it would be. They didn't know that it would be the biggest, the thing that allows a company to go publicly traded.
But see, that's the thing is, so many of the people watching knew it. It was the people behind the scenes running the show that either didn't know or didn't believe.
I mean, and this is where, like, Steve is really healing it up to, like, I
mean, I know he was still relatively new to the business, but you get a guy that's making this much of an impact after just a couple years. Put that fucking rocket on him.
He's such a shithead here. It's beautiful. It reminds me of fucking Jay White. I was watching this and I was like, I mean, there's plenty of like the smart heel that cuts corners and all that. That's happened before, but watching this, I was just like, has Jay White just been watching like 93 Steve Austin and putting his spin on it?
So the last time we saw the United States Heavyweight Championship belt defended, it was at Beach Blast 93, which was episode 95.
The one with the bomb on the beach, right?
That's the one.
Beach bomb bingo.
Sting!
But no one won the belt on that show as Rhodes and Rick Rude went to a tie in their Iron Man match. The two men would meet again on a WCW Saturday night that would air about a month before this show, with Dustin getting the victory and the belt. So that's why he has the championship.
I hope it was better than their Iron Man match I wanted to love so much, but didn't quite get. It had a big bar to live up to.
So Austin still has his Hollywood Blondes jacket on, so they may have still been a thing at this point.
Yeah.
But then the graphic also said that Colonel Parker was with him, which he wasn't, so...
Yeah, that was confusing.
Who knows?
Yeah, they're like, well, maybe Steve was like, nah, I got this. Colonel Parker, you stay back there. I'll still let you get your paycheck for the match. But I'm pretty sure I've got this.
So the match gets going, and Steve is slapping the Natural multiple times before rolling out of the ring to mess with the crowd.
Looking confident as hell. Jesus Christ.
And they're off.
Back in the ring, Austin with double leg takedown, trying to turn Rhodes over into a Boston Crab, but Dustin just powers out to escape. Stunning Steve with a back elbow, a body slam, but the Natural responds with a snapmare. Goes for a back suplex, only for Austin to flip out and grab a headlock to regain control.
It's crafty as shit. Did you get the part where Jesse Ventura calls Tony Schiavone Janet Reno? Thought that was pretty funny. They both have the same shaped head.
Rhodes tosses Stunning Steve off and hits a drop kick, but Austin with an Irish whip charging into the corner. But the Natural moves, so Austin hits knee first and flops over the ropes to the floor.
This is where he hurts his knee for the first time. Exactly. I'm kidding.
I'm waiting for that next match to see if he's got a brace.
Stunning Steve crawls back into the ring, and Dustin goes straight for the knee, working it with a shin breaker, knee drop, toe hold, elbow drop, and applying a leg bar. Austin's finally able to escape before kicking Rhodes low, slams his head on the turnbuckle, and delivers a snapmare. Pulls down his knee pad to hit a knee drop across the face for a 2 count. Stunning Steve goes for more head slams into turnbuckles, but the Natural blocks and reverses, only for Austin to come right back with a body slam. Goes to pick him up when Rhodes just pulls Stunning Steve towards the corner, where he leaps up and onto Dustin with a knee drop for a near fall.
This is hot shit, guys.
Austin starts slapping the Natural, which fires him up to hit a back body drop and a jumping clothesline for a 2 count. Rhodes calls for the Bulldog, but Stunning Steve tosses him off crotch first into the corner and begins to wail away on Dustin with fists and back elbows. A knee to the face, but the Natural with a quick jab and a schoolboy roll-up for 2, and then an inside cradle for a near fall. Austin tries for the stun gun, but Rhodes pounds his way out of it, and the two trade pins for 2 counts before Stunning Steve rolls out to the floor with Dustin chasing after. Rolling back into the ring, Austin then gets the double leg takedown and makes the pin with leverage for the pin and the win.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wow.
But
Record scratch.
Oh my gosh.
the ref then says he saw the feet on the ropes
Out
and
the corner of his
restarts
dang
the
eye.
match.
Crazy.
But Stunning Steve is still celebrating, which allows the Natural to cradle him up for the pin and the win. Which actually looked like Austin got his shoulder up.
Yeah. A little sloppy, convoluted finish, but my God.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of a theme so far here. It's like, well, the finish, whatever, but everything leading up to it is great. And the finish makes sense because these guys are guys that can be top guys, are on their way to potentially being top guys, are like top mid-card guys, like some of your best talent.
And
They're going to continue to have great matches together if you allow it to happen.
And it's a Virgil Runnels produced show.
Yeah, the two. There's one of my favorite Jesse-isms ever here, where he's talking to Tony about his boa, and he said, "It's not even fully grown yet. You picked it early." And I thought that was incredibly hilarious and cute, the idea that boas grow. And Tony's costume boa was picked early, so he's got a little one.
Post-match, Stunning Steve grabs the title belt, nailing Rhodes across the head with it, busting him open, and then leaves with the belt.
I know, it's art.
It's not a pay-per-view unless Dustin Rhodes bleeds.
See, and then and now the finish is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We then get an ad for Battle Bowl.
Ooh.
That's right, guys. The Lethal Lottery and Battle Bowl are back, and it's its own pay-per-view.
Can I draw a card and maybe that whether or not I have to watch this? Is there like a thing I can spin and it says yes or no?
Sorry, it was in your contract
Oh
that
my
you're
not
obligated to watch all of them.
When I get to renegotiate, it's gonna say no Battle Bowl.
But just think, now not only do we have Starrcade, but we have Battle Bowl all by itself.
I was excited that maybe Starrcade could have a chance.
That
Yeah.
is the plus side.
It does deserve a chance. But Battle Bowl does not deserve its own show. It deserves a shallow grave.
Clash of the Champions, Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery. Sounds perfect.
I like Clash of the Champions. We don't watch them all, but I like them.
Yeah, but it could be just a TV pay-per-view instead.
At least it gets everybody on the
Free
show.
preview.
Tony and Jesse then send us to highlights from last night's WCW Saturday night. We see the Nasty Boys facing off against Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Bagwell, with Sags coming off the top rope onto Bagwell, who was making a cover. But the ref was distracted, so Jerry rolls on top for the cover himself, but picks him up instead of getting the 3 count. Sags then picks up Marcus for a body slam onto a chair
Nasty
Missy
boys.
had placed inside the ring. But Teddy Long pulls the chair and Missy away as Scorpio climbs to the top rope, coming off with a flying maneuver to knock Bagwell on top for the pin and the win to become the new champions.
Yeah, it's a cute little finish.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have something like kind of wild like that for these guys to get over on these big fat nasty boys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, Bagwell is huge and Scorpio is by no means a small man.
So we got our 5th match, the Nasty Boys of Jerry Sags and Brian Knobbs with Missy Hyatt versus Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Alexander Bagwell with Teddy Long for the WCW World Tag Team Championships.
Well, hey there, Teddy.
Yeah, and Missy got a haircut.
Oh, Missy's looking rather nasty-sized. Is that the term?
That is the term.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I like biker barfly Missy.
I just don't know. Like the last time we saw Missy when she came out with the nasties.
She was doing the black leather thing.
Yeah, I mean it.
This is different. This isn't. She's not doing like a black leather thing here, right? It's a. don't remember.
Is this the one where she has the short hair? I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember.
she has short,
I
yeah.
don't like that one.
Yeah.
This wasn't the cat print, was it?
I think so.
I think it was. She's got more of a Kelly.
Yeah,
She's got more of a Kelly Bundy vibe here, which I'm also a fan of. Missy, do whatever you like. I'm here for you.
I think it's more since she got with the Nasties, she's tried to mimic their facial expressions, and they're really, really bad to the point that they make her. I mean, she's an attractive girl, and it just makes her look gross.
I like her being shitty. I mean, I don't want her to be shitty to me, but
I'm not a fan of short-haired Missy. Also,
I
the last time we saw her, she
Missy.
had that Lana look to her, where Lana was with Dolph Ziggler, and they had her all denimed out like a acid wash '90s rocker chick.
At least this is like a time where guitar music is real and very popular,
Right.
So it's a little more
These
believable.
are the days of Winger happening right now.
I mean, what? I think is Nevermind 92 or 93 or 94? I think it's probably
Yes.
92.
So first off, we haven't seen Teddy Long since Clash of the Champions 17,
Where's Tedward been?
all the way back in episode 61.
He's been reffing, and now he's no longer a ref, so that opened the door for Terry Taylor to come back, and boom.
And also, I don't know if you guys heard Michael Buffer or not, but he called Missy an escort.
Yeah.
She's dressed like it's like a. She's
I know
doing,
he meant
yeah.
as the escort to the ring.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty funny considering.
Yeah, this is like the white leather one with like the crazy like bright color scribbles on it, and she's got the big hoop earrings.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got like a club girl vibe. She's doing some Madonna shit, New York party.
So the Nasties have the belts somehow and raise them above their heads. So Scorpio and Marcus hit them from behind, causing them to drop the titles,
Oh yeah, we got the fun tandem open.
toss the Nasties to the ropes, and pick the belts up, nailing the boys to knock them out to the floor.
Oh, that's gonna pop everybody, right?
Bagwell then grabs Hyatt and gives her a big kiss, and the crowd starts chanting once again.
Whoop! There it is. I thought you were going with me. It's all good. We'll have another whoop. There it is.
As let you have it all,
I'm sure.
all by yourself.
Okay.
So once the bell rings, the Nasties take control with elbow drops, knee drops, head slams into turnbuckles, and they go for a double big boot, only for Marcus to slide underneath them and deliver a double drop kick to the boys.
Don't you guys love it that sexual assault kind of whoop day it is?
Right? Wow.
Well, they also only do it when there's a black person in the ring.
Oh, is that true? I guess so.
Yeah. After that double drop kick, it's followed by Too Cold flying in off the top rope with a crossbody on both Nasties, followed by stereo clotheslines to send them out to the floor. Bagwell then gets down on his hands and knees, allowing Scorpio to jump up off of him over the ropes for a plancha onto the boys.
I know. Put the young guns over, will ya?
Back in the ring, Marcus and Too Cold continue the attack with the drop toe hold knee drop combo, a wheelbarrow victory roll on Knobs for a 2 count, double flying shoulder tackle for a near fall, before Bagwell hits a Thez press and a hip toss, then a double team hip toss and elbow drop on Sags.
Really taking it to these nasty boys.
Scorpio's tossed to the corner where he leaps up and wants to go for a moonsault, but he slips, so he turns it into a flying clothesline and a drop kick.
Nasty.
It's like every other match. Scorpio's got the slip, dog.
He's got at least one mess up.
I know. I want to put like some lead in his boots so he can like steady himself a little bit.
Marcus is taken to his opponent's corner, allowing them to gain control, where the Nasties hit a double team stun gun, causing Bagwell to be dumped out to the floor, where Missy slaps him and Jerry hits a back suplex.
She spits on that hand and slaps the shit out of him.
Back in the ring, Brian hits a vertical suplex for a 2 count, and the Nasties start working over Marcus with forearms, body slams, leg drops, elbow drops, chin locks, and a bear hug.
Did you guys hear the Xena yell in the crowd? Somebody does like a Xena Warrior Princess style yell in the crowd that's really loud, and it's pretty funny. Also, Bagwell deserves the slap.
Yeah. He had it coming.
Oh yeah.
Bagwell begins to fire up, but a right hand and a head slam into a turnbuckle stops the momentum, followed by a Sags clothesline for a 2 count. Knobbs telegraphs a back body drop, so Marcus with the desperation faceplant begins to crawl to the corner, but the ref gets distracted by Jerry trying to come in, so he doesn't see the tag.
Oh no.
The Nasties then try a whip-aided splash into the corner, only for Bagwell to move, sending Bryan headfirst into the turnbuckle, while Marcus charges out with a clothesline of his own onto Sags, before making the crawl for the hot tag. Too Cold goes kick crazy with spinning heel kicks, drop kicks, a head slam into the turnbuckle, followed by a splash in the corner and a moonsault press onto Knobbs for the pin. And no! Jerry drops an elbow, but Scorpio had moved, causing Bryan to take the blow.
It's fucking hot in here, guys.
Missy and Teddy have both jumped up on the apron, slapping at each other, while a Pier 6 brawl breaks out in the ring. Sags comes over to break it up, only for Marcus to hit him from behind, delivering a double noggin knocker between Jerry and Hyatt.
Jesse at that time, I think, is when he said, "Never thought I'd see the day where Missy Hyatt looks like a dumb blonde outside of the ring, and that's what she looks like tonight."
Aw.
Damn.
Wasn't even that clever. Just being mean.
It would have been funnier. It's the best head Jerry's ever gotten.
Very good.
Too Cold's up on the top rope and hits the Firebird 450 splash onto Knobbs. Makes the cover, but the ref is trying to get Bagwell back into his corner.
These slow, nasty
Which
boys.
allows Sags to pull his boot off and nail Scorpio on the head with it.
I put the lead in his boot.
Bryan then rolls over on top of Too Cold for the pin and the win. And new!
Another ending I don't like.
I loved it. I like this match. I
Like-
thought this match was so good. I was like, did Jim Cornette lay this out? This was a blast.
I enjoyed the match up until the ending again, just because it was like, come on, just give us a fucking clear win already on one of these damn matches.
We can't do
Too
that.
Cold hit the Firebird without landing the knee on the head.
I know. I mean, yes, that's true. Those are scary. Also, a real ass hot tag. Like a legit, like we say hot tag a lot of the times, and sometimes they're not so hot, sometimes they're ice cold, but this one was fucking hot.
Bischoff's in the back with Colonel Robert Parker and Sid Vicious.
There, Sid.
And Parker says, "It's a real scary time for you, Sting." And then Sid says, "It's time for you, Sting, to wake up from the nightmare that you've been experiencing. It's time for you to step into the ring. It's time for you to face reality. Some people call me Psycho Sid, but for you to step into the ring, but tonight at Halloween Havoc, you will call me the Grim Reaper for what I'll do to you, Sting. I will grab you by the throat and I will lift you 7 feet in the air and drive your skull onto the mat. And 1 second before you go, I'll take your soul, Sting, because I'm Sid Vicious and I rule the world."
The first half of it sounded like lyrics to like a bad Alice Cooper song.
And the second half just sounded like a bad promo.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sid. We've seen him do worse, and we probably will in the future.
So the franchise of WCW.
We got to find out who the franchise is. Shane Douglas isn't here.
Like, franchises typically don't leave, do they?
Sting has never left.
Yeah.
Sting never left.
Never left.
Sid, this is what, like his 4th time coming back?
At least second.
Yeah, Sting is like the Undertaker of WCW, but even the Undertaker was in the WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Sting is a motherfucking lifer.
So we're headed to our 6th match. Sid Vicious
Ruler of the world.
with Colonel Robert Parker versus Sting to determine who the franchise of WCW is.
Did they actually say that over the mic, like into the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gary Michael Capetta says this.
That's crazy.
It's the only reason I even knew that that's what this match is about.
That's why I had written on here, who is the franchise of WCW?
Yeah, you like Sting's bedazzled jean jacket?
Did you like the veins on that dude yelling about Sting in the front row?
Oh, the
Like,
Sting cosplay guy?
His veins were just like bulging because
Yeah.
he was like so intense, like freaking out that Sting was right there. It was like,
World's biggest stinger, baby.
So Parker distracts Sting to start, allowing Sid to nail him from behind. Begins to deliver forearms, kicks, chokes, but misses a clothesline and the Stinger body slams Vicious.
Woo!
Sting continues the attack with multiple clotheslines, descending to the apron. Brings him back in with a vertical suplex, only for Sid to roll out to the floor to regroup. But Stinger follows out, knocking Vicious over the guardrail and through the crowd, before finally bringing him back to ringside.
Two crowd spots. Sid looks incredible. He's fucking bigger than all outside. What I'm saying is it's real psycho hours.
Back in the ring, Sting comes off the top with the flying clothesline for a 2 count. Stinger goes to come off the ropes, but Colonel Parker grabs his boot to distract him. So when he turns around, Sid is there for a choke slam.
Is this where he doesn't he miss the boot?
I think he swipes at it.
He might have got
enough of it.
Yeah, okay.
Vicious starts using his power, chokes, and stomps on Sting. Parker even joins in the fun from the outside with chokes of his own.
Maybe Robert Parker is the franchise.
He sure wants to be.
Stinger rolls out of the ring and begins to stalk Colonel Parker around ringside when Sid comes off the apron with a double axe handle.
Sting, you got to know better. You got to keep your emotions in check.
The ref goes to check on Parker, allowing Vicious to grab a chair and hit the weakest chair shot I've ever seen across the back of the Sting.
Yeah, I mean, good for Sting, but Sid, look at you, man. You gotta, somebody should have taught you how to throw a chair shot.
Yeah.
Where's Terry Funk when you need him?
Is that how the ruler of the world would really throw a chair?
Yeah.
No, don't think so.
I said real psycho hours, and I'm taking it back.
That's followed by a not-so-rubber band slam across the guardrail.
Jesus.
And Sid continues the attack.
I love the not-so-rubber band slam. Wonderful wording, man.
Sid continues the attack inside the ring with more forearms before starting to wear down Stinger with a chinlock. But Sting escapes with some elbows, only to then run into a power slam for a near fall.
Did you hear that kid, that dirt sheet reading fucker out there yelling, Sting sucks? Son of a bitch.
I did not.
Vicious applies a bear hug, but Stinger powers out with an ear clap, only to run into a big boot and follows by axe handles across the back.
Also one of the not so good looking bear hugs.
Yeah, I've got written on here.
It's like it looked like he was hugging him as if it was like he attended Sting's grandfather's funeral and was saying goodbye. All right, buddy.
Yeah, I've got on here. Maybe Shockmaster should help Sid with his bear hugs.
Oh, rough.
Sting's placed back into the squeeze, only to power out once again with ear claps, and catches the big boot this time, slamming Sid down to the mat head first multiple times.
Get him.
Followed by multiple Stinger splashes.
Take that, Frank's dad.
Parker's back on the apron and gets knocked down by Sting, allowing Vicious to nail him from behind again. Parker is then grabbing for Sting's ankle, but accidentally grabs Sid's.
Oh my gosh,
tripping him up with the Stinger falling on top. While Parker is still holding Vicious's leg for the pin, and no! Sid kicks out.
Parker, were you teasing a turn here? Are you a little Stinger?
Vicious grabs Colonel Parker, allowing Sting to hit the Okada roll for the pin and the win. Post-match, Parker's trying to explain to Sid what happened while the crowd chants, "Whoop, there it is."
No,
so I was wrong.
You were wrong.
I was wrong.
It's just a hot song, man. And it's really fun to say. What are you mad about?
I hate that song.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the match.
I mean,
it's this was slick shit. Very WWF finish.
I mean, it's
felt that way.
It's another.
I guess it's just a very
finish,
wrestling
just
finish.
Like with the rest of the show.
Very
so
American
far.
wrestling finish.
Yeah.
But the quality of wrestling is so good on the show the finishes. We've seen so many bad NWA early finishes that you can't even tell what happened. These are all clean enough.
Bobby Heenan did the hold the boot, get the pin a whole lot better.
That's Bobby Heenan.
This match was basically designed so that they could turn Sid Vicious face.
Yeah.
Because he turns on Colonel Parker.
Yeah.
But this would be the last time we see Sid Vicious for about a year and a half as on that European tour that they were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Sid would end up stabbing Arn Anderson 20 times with scissors in a hotel room.
How did Arn survive that? Was he just like, were his stabs as weak as his chair shots?
I guess.
Because I feel like if he stabbed me with a butter knife, I would die just because he's so strong. It was go right through my back. What? We're going to have to dig into this. What do you got? Why did he stab him?
I remember hearing about this story.
They just got into an argument in a hotel room, and I know Arn.
That's
Arn,
a crazy
Arn
argument.
Arn got a few in on Sid as well.
That's a crazy argument to stab a man 20 times. Jesus.
He's up on roids and all kinds of drugs. What do you expect?
Yeah.
I mean,
Jesus, man.
Psycho's in his name, man.
But because of this incident, WCW would release Sid.
Oh, yeah?
And that would also start a spiral of, remember all those tapings that we talked about? How they had 6 months worth of stuff taped?
Yeah.
Sid Vicious, after turning face, was supposed to go on and face Vader at Starrcade.
Crazy that he turned face already in a taping in front of people, and now he's been so wide.
Erased.
He would even get Vader up in a torture rack
Oh my God.
at one of those tapings. But he was supposed to win the championship at Starrcade.
Yeah, he torture racked Vader.
But because of him being released, and they had to go back and reshoot the last couple months of footage to lead up to Starrcade.
Oh, okay. So they didn't just like pull a name out of a hat and then Butch Reed wins the title?
I mean, that might be what they do.
We'll
Yeah,
have to wait
I'm
and
cool
see.
with that.
Guess we'll find out.
I like Butch. Pro Butch.
We then go to Tony and Jesse, and they discuss the main event, going to side-by-side pictures from the opposing locker rooms, where we see Vader warming up by shadow boxing, while Cactus Jack looks to be praying, but he's actually just going crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's Cactus Jack.
Jacking
Got
off.
the bag.
What's in the bag?
What is in the bag? I'm never gonna know.
No,
And it's
you're
not.
never-
Yeah,
never
it's
gonna know.
the bag's too small for it to be
should
Gwyneth
get a-
Paltrow's head.
You should
So,
get a
like,
cameo with Mick Foley and ask him what was in the bag.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's good. But I bet his cameo is probably pretty affordable, knowing how Mick Foley. We all know he's cheap or whatever, but he also seems like a man of the people. He's been wearing the same flannel for fucking 15 years.
I'm gonna say it's probably worth it.
I mean, yeah, I imagine it's. We can watch some of the previews. One of my favorite things recently that Jim Cornette has been doing is they listen to cameos of different wrestlers, and it's very fun for me and to hear them react. But it's very fun because I wouldn't actually go look up wrestler cameos by myself. There's some real gems out there. There's some that it's a good time. So just Google some wrestlers you like or don't like and watch their cameo previews. I think you'll enjoy yourself.
But then we're headed to our 7th match. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair,
Woo.
with Fifi
Double woo.
versus Ravishing Rick Rude for the WCW International World Heavyweight Championship.
That's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
I don't talk about Fifi like that.
Rude takes the mic, and he wants all the fat, out of shape Louisiana losers to stand up
All these po' boys.
and pay respect to the champ. And we get Terry Taylor as the outside referee.
And maybe the best Rick tights ever, Pumpkin Butt.
And we also get Michael Buffer saying those famous words for this matchup.
Oh, can we say them?
What famous words?
I think I was cut
Does
off.
he
last
say,
time.
"Won't
I
there it is,
don't
Joe"?
want to say them. I'm mad at Michael
He
Buffer.
might have said, well, there it is.
yeah, I'm mad at Michael Buffer for being a bitch.
So the Ravishing One is throwing pickup lines at Fifi in the corner. So Flair lays it in with chops and a back body drop, a vertical suplex, clothesline, Irish whip, and charges in. Only for Rude to get a knee up. Heads up top for a knee drop, which Nate moves to avoid, hit the shimbreaker before applying the figure 4. But the Ravishing One makes the rope as the crowd starts chanting, "Whoop, there it is."
God damn it. If there was a Whoop, there it is shirt, I wouldn't buy it for Shane because he wouldn't wear it and it would be wasteful. But I'd think about it.
Well, if you ever found one, just like add the graphic of an eye roll underneath it.
Okay.
I'll totally be there.
Emoji with an eye roll?
Yeah.
Nature Boy drags Rude to the corner, wrapping the leg around the ring post multiple times, and begins to work the knee, until the Ravishing One yanks Flair through the ropes to the floor. Nate returns to the ring with a sunset flip, only for Rude to drop down on his shoulders, grabbing the ropes for leverage, but Taylor from the outside breaks that up, allowing the Nature Boy to roll the Ravishing One over for the 2 count.
This is what they should have done last time. Just get straight to the knee and let's have a wrestling match. I'm glad that they're fixing their mistake.
Flair hits a crossbody that ends up sending them both out to the floor, but Rude lands on a chair of the producer at the announce table.
Rough.
Yeah, that I hurt for him as he landed on that chair.
Yeah. Nate continues the attack with more chops, comes off the top with a single sledge, tries for a second one, but the Ravishing One catches him in the gut on his way down. Rude then grabs a chair and rears back, but Terry Taylor pulls it away in time. But the Ravishing One does slam the Nature Boy's head into the guardrail.
Back off, Terry.
Terry just doing his job. He's going to call it down the middle.
Rude begins to work the back of Flair with backbreakers and a chin lock, followed by the Ravishing One going up top for a single sledge. But he jars his knee on the landing, so he goes back to the chin lock. Nate powers up to escape, but is tossed into the corner for a Flair flip. Into a cameraman.
Oh, yeah. The cameraman bites it.
And the apron, only to be met by a clothesline, then brought back into the ring with a vertical suplex.
Really taking it to Flair. Love the flip to the apron. Love it when they catch him with the clothesline. Might as well put an exclamation point on it with a suplex.
Yeah, around the time of the chin lock, that's when Rude ended up with the most ravishing booger just hanging out.
He's got those big old nostrils.
Yeah,
and you could see if the booger was in the way, you might have been able to see his brain.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of old Jim Duggan from back in the day. I think during one of the Rick Rude fights with Jim Duggan.
Rude comes off the top with another single sledge for a 2 count, hits a clothesline before applying a bear hug, taking him down to the mat for a pin, only for the Nature Boy to continuously get the shoulder up. Flair reverses an Irish whip and locks on a sleeper, but the Ravishing One escapes by driving Nate into the turnbuckle. Rude then heads up top for another single sledge, but the Nature Boy is able to avoid and hits the Rude Awakening.
Oh my gosh.
But he struggles to make the cover, so it's only a 2 count, before trying a backslide for a near fall.
No selling the Rude Awakening. Does it normally take 2? When you're Ric Flair, it always takes 2.
So.
Sometimes they're ladies.
Well, it was Flair doing the Rude Awakening.
Oh, shit. My bad. Apologize.
It's not his move.
Of course he can't do it very well.
Flair with a suplex before coming off the top, only to eat a boot on his way down. The Ravishing One reverses an Irish whip, sending Nate into the ref on the inside, causing Taylor to hop into the ring, but he is knocked down by the Nature Boy, shoving Rude off of himself. The Ravishing One then grabs the knucks out of his tights, but Flair ducks the swing, hitting a back suplex, grabbing the knucks himself, and nails Rude in the face.
Sweet, sweet justice.
Taylor's waking up, so Nate makes the cover for the pin. 1, 2, and then Terry just stops counting, as Randy Anderson is behind him, stopping him from counting.
Oh my gosh, why would we do that?
Nature Boy's celebrating, but Pee-wee tells him that he saw him hit the Ravishing One with the knucks.
That's one ref, one set of eyes, guys.
Wait, Randy Anderson was out on the floor. How did he see him hit him?
Because he's a real ref.
Because he's a referee. Anybody?
Yeah. So the official announcement...
Forgot to bring that little buzzer with me.
So the official announcement is Rick Rude by disqualification. Post-match, Flair grabs the belt away from Buffer, but the Ravishing One goes out to the rampway and picks Fifi up and starts to carry her away, when Nate comes from behind, hitting Rude with the belt before locking on the figure 4 momentarily.
Hell yeah. I mean, if I had to choose between the belt and Fifi, I would choose Fifi, but I would also want only if she was willing. I'm not a monster. I'm not a caveman.
You're not gonna Bagwell her?
No, of course not. Or Rick Ruder, just like I said, just throw over the shoulder. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
If she doesn't want it, I don't want it.
People after the match.
But maybe I'd like
You
it.
could hear them yelling in the crowd to wipe your nose.
Really?
Like, yep.
I
loved it.
didn't catch that. I saw the booger. That was
I don't know, the match, I liked it, but at the same time, it was missing like a spark.
It was still better than their 30-minute match.
Yes.
Yeah, like if this was the first one, I may have been like a little disappointed, but because it's weighed next to that other one, I loved this, and we already at least had the Fifi thing going on, so it's like, okay, well, I already know what's going on here. We're good to go, and this was the kind of thing that I wanted to see. They brought the Knuckles back. That's fun.
Like, I wonder, maybe are they supposed to have played those matches in reverse since they had all these pre-recorded things
Well, these are pay-per-views, but honestly, you would think that the 2 out of 3 falls would be after a single match knuckle type of situation.
Oh, yeah.
But what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, you figure, Fifi's face wouldn't show up on Rick Rude's tights until, a little bit more of a rivalry had been established and not just an insult on a...
Even if they're just spray painted on some pants, I'm always a fan of more Fifi face.
We get another ad for Battle Bowl, and then we get Tony and Jesse giving us the rules for a Texas death match.
Oh, do you happen to have the rules?
I do.
That's why I should have worn my t-shirt, because I was just going to take my jacket off, turn around, and let you read them right off my back.
Because once again, Tony explained something very weirdly. Because once he says it, I was like, what?
Well, the rules, they put them on the screen, I believe.
And they don't make any sense at all.
Of course not. They never have. See,
it's like
my stupid t-shirt.
It's like Ted Turner actually speaking them.
Well, like the rules, I think, are the same as like the OG ones, like from like early Texas death matches.
Oh, I'm sure.
So,
Probably.
but yeah, they're...
But the rules are no DQ, falls don't count, 30 seconds rest between falls, falls anywhere in the building, match continues until one man can't get to his feet before a 10 count. Like, you read all those and you're like, wait, falls don't count, but there's
30 seconds.
There's a rest period between the falls,
and you
can get them anywhere in the building.
And it's like, but do they mean falls as in like when the guys you can
get a pin?
The 10 count can, but can the 10 count happen outside of the ring? Well, it's like, yeah, we already said that, kind of. How would you describe this yourself?
Well, Jesse actually does it.
Yes.
Because he explains it correctly. And he basically says, you make a pin. Once that is done, you have to make it back to your feet before the 10 count, after the 30-second rest period. So you basically have 40 seconds to get up after you're pinned.
But they can do a count if the guy's just on the ground by himself, right? Or does the fall have to happen?
The pin has to happen. The pin or submission has to happen before you get the rest period and then the 10 count to get back to your feet.
I like the idea of using a submission hold and then taking it off and then getting to your feet and just staring at the guy. That's very funny.
Literally.
Just stand on him.
Uh-huh.
So our 8th match, Big Van Vader with Harley Race versus Cactus Jack in a Texas death match. The champ comes out first. Foreshadowing? No, it's not, because the title's not on the line.
It's not on the line.
No, that's right.
We've spun the wheel. Now it's time to complete the deal. Thanks, GMP.
So Cactus Jack attacks Vader out on the rampway, and the two begin to brawl all around ringside, where Vader tries for a clothesline up against the post, only for Jack to duck.
Posted. Do you think anybody has taken advantage of the WCW walkway more than Cactus Jack? You know he fucking loves this thing.
Cactus Jack jabs a chair into Vader, bites him before grabbing a fan's camera, using it to nail the big man across the head.
It's beautiful. It's one of those like 90s, late 80s like thin cameras that they're like 2 inches by like 4 inches. They look like an ice cream fucking sandwich with a light on them.
Those little Kodak specials.
Oh yeah, dude. I had a green Ninja Turtle one when I was a kid.
I hope he at least took a picture as it was smashing.
That would be great. I would love to see that photo.
Or take a selfie with it.
Yeah.
And then slam it on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Jack grabs another chair, nailing Vader over the head before rolling him into the ring, only to run into a big boot and a clothesline from the big man. Stiff shots in the corner from Vader.
Stiff shots.
Cactus Jack's getting punched out to the rampway, where Vader goes to bring him back in with a vertical suplex, only to be blocked and reversed to bring the big man out to the rampway. Jack's bleeding from the brow as he back suplexes Vader on the ramp.
Let's shoot blood from those brick fists.
And starts laying it in again, when Race shows up with a chair, only for Cactus Jack to block and take the chair away for another chair shot on Vader.
Thanks, Harley.
They continue to brawl up to the graveyard area on the stage.
It's a fog fight. We got Atmo everywhere.
Where they end up rolling into a hole where the tombstone with Vader's name is on it.
R.I.P. Vader. And this is Blade in the Grave, which is a song off my upcoming thrash album. It's all about Cactus Jack matches.
Jack crawls out of the hole and begins to head back down the ramp. When Vader finally comes out of the grave, all bloody, he then receives a running clothesline and makes the cover for the pin, and the 30-second rest period begins.
1, 2.
Once that rest period is done,
30.
Vader makes it back to his feet at the count of 2. So Cactus Jack hits him with a cactus prop, which knocks Vader off the ramp. So Jack then comes flying off with an elbow for another pin.
The cactus prop and the R.I.P. Vader. A little too cute, but this is too hot for me to get mad about. I like cute.
This time Vader gets up after the count of 3, and he's pissed off. So he grabs Cactus Jack off the rampway by the hair.
The fuck off.
I just said pissed.
They brawl back towards the ring, where Jack puts a table inside. And the ref even helps him by setting it up in the corner.
Aw, what a pal. He doesn't like Vader either. He's mad that Vader legitimately broke his fucking Cactus's face open.
Which allows Cactus Jack to toss Vader into it for only a 2 count. Jack slams the table against Vader, and it still won't break, so someone call Matthew, sending the big man rolling out to the floor, only for Cactus Jack to follow out with a sunset flip off the apron. But Vader tries to squash him, only for Jack to move in time.
The sunset flip off the apron. Cactus Jack's pancake body just splats on the concrete, and just like, dude, you ain't gotta do it like that, man.
It's like the equivalent of like Terminator 2 when the T-1000, is that what they are?
Yeah, the T-1000 is the cool cop guy.
Where it's like, hits the ground, turns into Mercury. Yeah, that's how I just envision Cactus Jack every time he flops to the ground out there, because it's just this perfect blob.
Cactus Jack, as much as I love Cactus Jack, he would not have turned into a T-1000. He would have turned into a Capri Sun.
Yeah, I can see that.
Y'all remember those commercials?
Cactus Jack hits the not-so-rubber band slam, followed by a cannonball over the guardrail.
Yeesh.
But Vader just stands back, allowing Jack to hit the concrete.
Splat, splat, splat.
Vader back body drops Cactus Jack back over the barricade and follows up with a chair shot over the head.
This is a good chair shot, but a good chair shot in the bad way, where you're like, that's the man's head.
We then see Harley race with a taser as the two men make their way back into the ring.
Oh, and he revs it up so you hear it good, and tasers sound horrific. Mm-hmm. It's a scary loud sound.
What is that noise?
And it works over even the camera picking it up, it still sounds scary.
Vader hits a body slam, goes up top for a Vader salt for the pin.
The fuck?
Jack gets up at the count of 3.
Ugh, my gosh.
But he is immediately kicked into the corner for more stiff shots before being tossed to the rampway.
Those fucking ham fists.
As Vader's following out, Cactus Jack jumps on the big man's back, which Vader just falls backwards, landing on top of Jack.
Yeah. He smushed an organ. I don't know which one. I don't know what's left in there.
Another chair shot by Vader before hitting a DDT on the same chair, which brings out some trainers to check on Cactus Jack, only for Vader to shove them away and make the pin. Vader then interrupts the rest period, but Jack starts fighting back, hitting a DDT on the chair himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once the 30 seconds is up, both men are down, so the ref starts counting them both. And as Cactus Jack is getting to his feet, Harley tasers him, allowing Vader to make it to his feet instead to win the match.
I love that he teases the sound of the taser early, does it again before he hits Cactus Jack, and then obviously doesn't have the buttons engaged when he just like pushes it up at Cactus Jack's knee. Very funny, but mostly effective, probably more effective in the building than on
TV,
television.
yeah.
But not mad at it. The moonsault, not perfect, but it's Vader doing a moonsault, man.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be happening anyway, because it's like a crime against nature.
But
Spit in the face of God with gravity.
fuck, is it insane?
It's so insane.
Tony and Jesse recap the evening, say their goodbyes before the credits roll. And I ask you, gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Halloween Havoc 1993?
Bang, bang. Loved it. I loved it.
On the Halloween Havoc scale, it definitely lands higher than some of our more recent ones.
It's the most consistent one.
Yeah,
There's only one bad match here.
A lot of good matchups. There was just not.
This is a dream card.
There
of
wasn't
like,
a
of
solid
like.
finish on any of them, was there?
No.
I don't mind that. I don't mind it.
Every match had a dusty finish.
Cat.
Every
match has a dusty finish, but they are. You know what's happening, and everything before the dusty finish, even if you don't like it, is hot as fuck.
But the work in all of the matches is very, very good.
Yes.
So it made the finishes a bit more bearable than they usually would.
Plus, like if you go down the card, it's all top talent, guys that are coming up, guys that are established, and like it's a dream card. It's outside of the first match, it is like a dream card. You look at it on paper, it's like, whew, chef's kiss.
I totally agree on all that. It's just we got how many matches?
I am Captain Clean Finish, but I go to Japan for that.
8 matches.
Except for maybe in 2021. I mean 2020, sorry.
One, I don't know, mostly clean, less dusty finish.
I love this show. I have a friend of mine who isn't a huge wrestling guy or whatever, but I sent him the Vader because like we were talking and he was talking like he likes the Attitude Era like trashy stuff because that's what he remembers or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I like that stuff as a kid, and now when I watch wrestling I go to New Japan because I learned that's what I like in revisiting wrestling. But I was like, oh yeah, that stuff's cool, but I feel like this Vader Cactus Jack match does that really well.
Yeah.
And it's great. So I sent it to him, and he fucking loved it. And then like a couple days later, I sent him the Steve Austin match, and he loved it. I was like, yeah, wrestling is really cool. You just gotta know what to show people.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that if there's 2 matches on here that are worth showing a friend, these are good ones because everybody knows who Mick Foley and Vader is. And everybody knows who Steve Austin is, and seeing them young and still like incredible. It's a nice little hook. Something anybody can get excited about. As you can see, big fan of Havoc.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So give me some of your best moments of the show.
It's so difficult to pick one for me. There's only like one thing that I didn't like about this show, and I've talked about the finishes. I'm fine with all of them. They all made sense. They weren't all. None of them were like too far out there that it bothered me or I was confused.
I think we're talking best moments, so I'll hold off.
Okay. So just the first match, but it's like they got it out of the way. They didn't even use it as like the piss match. There's no piss match on this show except for the first match. But you just sat down. Why do you got to piss?
Best moment, Yoshi Kwan getting injured.
Oh my God. You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it because Orndorff Steamboat is absolutely incredible.
It is a very good match.
Yes. Tough one. Best moment.
If Yoshi Kwan and Steamboat would have had the match, like this show would have dropped like maybe a full star.
Let's just say that the best moment of this show is if every match was a 10-minute match.
Regal
I know
Davey
not every
boy,
match was a
my
10-minute
God.
match, but
Yeah.
if every match was a 10-minute match, 9 minutes of the 10 minutes is very, very good.
Yes.
I think that. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. I think that there's not really any time wasting any of these matches, and everybody's really bringing their like. Nobody looks lackadaisical. Everyone's like really fully. I mean, we're not talking about the first match. You're erasing that.
I'm not
from the
even
card.
talking about the first match either. I'm talking about someone else.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought. I mean, you might say it, and I'll be like, okay, but like Ricky, he was even more emotive than he typically is. And he's not known for being that guy. He's like if you create a player, made a wrestler, you want it to look like Ricky Steamboat, but it's a creative player, you can't make him cut a promo.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you get with Steamboat. He's like as far as in ring, it's what you want, but on mic, it's pretty iffy.
It's gross to watch, but the Cactus Jack Sunset Flip and then doing the cannonball over the guardrail. And,
unnecessary.
And Vader just... I laughed, but at the same time, I was like...
Yeah, you heard...
Vader just backs away instead of, basically no-sells the cannonball.
It's a full boss move.
It was just like, that's so gross, but I was like, I love it.
Yeah. That match is gross, but it's the kind of gross that it's like just on the cusp of being like too violent.
Yeah.
But as soon as it starts until it's over, you are leaning forward, man.
Yeah.
Especially the shoot blood from Cactus, those hammer fists. Right, like 2 minutes into the match, gets him into the corner, does the Vader brick fists, and he's got the man needs stitches tomorrow. Also, what's in the bag?
There's something about the Steve Austin slap at the start of the Dustin match. I don't know what it is, but
it's so good.
There's something about Steve Austin. He can just hit these one little things that aren't supposed to mean anything, and they just get lodged in my brain forever.
I feel like this is Steve Austin's like coming out party. Like he's been great this whole time. He's been heel-ish and stuff, but he's like full fucking dirtbag heel. Facials entirely too cocky in the best way possible, and it made me think of
annoying,
one of my
unnecessary manager.
Yeah, one of my favorite heels currently, and probably one of the best heels in the business at the moment, Jay White.
I mean, I think we can kind of agree. There's so many good moments that
this is a must-watch show.
That just to like
point. You could say that about Halloween Havoc.
I've been wanting to so hard, and I am not. I might be saying it. I don't think that I'm talking out of school here. I legitimately adore this show. It's not just because I want a good Halloween Havoc. I think we truly have a great Halloween Havoc.
It gets a 95 for me.
Oh, that's great. Good to hear.
I'd have to give it a 92. I'm going to take away 1 point from each match for each dusty finish.
That's probably a better score.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 98 because Fifi's always worth 3 points.
Well, let's move on to most disappointing, maybe, because there's just so many good moments that it's hard to kind of
I'm gushing over here.
We're just gushing over the entire thing. But some of the more disappointing moments, I know you guys don't like the first match. I don't even care about the first match.
I don't either. It's not even worth talking about. It's just like whatever.
But to me, Sid Vicious did absolutely nothing in that match.
Yeah. He just looked great. Like, as far as physically, he looked incredible, but he always has. But here, he's, like, even beefier.
It feels like he was sleepwalking through the match, and And then that finish was just like, what?
I would say that Sting Sid Vicious is my least favorite match that's not the first match.
That's definitely on my opinion as well.
But it still has like moderate, like every single one of these matches has like big match feel for the most part, like with the exception of like maybe the tag match. But the tag match, those guys really go in on the Nasty Boys, and even though they lose, they get over in a big way.
Out of all the Dusty finishes, the one that, to me, I hate the most is the Rude Flair one.
Yeah.
The disqualification from Randy Anderson, who's not even in the ring. Like, he's down on the floor. How does he see the Knucks hit when Terry Taylor's right there? Like,
I like that the Knuckles came back. I like that. But what you're saying with the Randy Anderson being like, oh, but I saw you. It's like,
no,
that's part of wrestling is that there's a ref and the ref sees it or doesn't see it. So somebody being like, but that happened. It's like, no, the match is over, man. Shit's final. We're moving on. So I hate it whenever they take back what just happened. It always is too Dusty.
And then my second least favorite Dusty finish, unfortunately, is in the Austin Rhodes match.
Yep.
Because Nick Patrick is literally looking at the entire body of Austin.
Yeah.
And he counts the 3, and then he gets up and he's like, nope. I saw the legs. Restart the match.
So
and it's like,
at least we agree that we hate the whole restart thing. It's like that takes away the whole point of a heel cheating. Yep. If that's the case, it'd be like, oh, we're gonna rewind the tape, and here on Monday Night Nitro, we're gonna review the tape and look at that, and then you bring Austin out, and you're like, all right, well, we're ceremoniously taking the belt away from you because you cheated. It's like, no, the ref shit is final. That's sports, man. That's just that's what it is. Just because you realize later on the replay that the call was bad, I mean, now I don't know. It probably is fucking really annoying and takes 7 hours to watch a football game because of it. But at one point in time, it's just, that's the call. These guys are the professionals. It is what it is. They saw what they saw. That they're there to do their job. So you win some, you lose some. So I agree with you that those are the most annoying, obviously. Love the Knuckles, though.
Yes.
Anything else disappointing?
I think I'm mostly disappointed, aside from a couple of the endings. Jesse just got me off on the wrong... got me started off on the wrong foot with his whole New Orleans #1 gynecologist. It was just like terrible humor to start off with.
That's who he
and then
is,
I
though.
just kind of at everything else he said throughout the rest of the show.
He has one of my favorite things about the boa not being fully grown. He picked it too early. I think that is hilariously bad. That's great. That's like a Bobby Heenan level joke.
I missed it.
It was good.
Well, how about best performer of the night?
I don't even know what to do here.
When the night started, it was Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he went on to explain the WCW International thing and the Texas Death Match rules.
That's
and
not him. That's wrestling. He had to do it. It's his job.
He could have still explained it better.
He was reading the list of rules, wasn't he? Or didn't? No. I guess Jesse covered it, though.
Jesse made it better on that one. So my performer of the night is going to be Cactus Jack because he bumped his ass off.
Yeah,
he
took shoot blood.
Yeah,
like he gets it for just putting himself out there the way that we know he does. This reminded me. There is a match. I don't think it's a pay-per-view match between Cactus Jack and Vader, and I think it's right before Cactus Jack leaves. Or maybe before him and Vader both leave WCW. But there's a match where WCW still has the walkway, and they do the spot where on the walkway they go through the walkway. And it might be a Nitro or something, but watching this reminded me of this match that years ago I downloaded off of a wrestling torrent site, like a collection of cool matches that me and my friend
wouldn't have been a Nitro.
Would get together and watch.
Was already gone.
I don't know, but it's really cool, and I'm going to have to look it up now. But it reminded me of that, and I assume that it probably happened after this, because if it happened before, you would assume that they would show the footage, because that's a hell of a spot. But yeah, it's hard not to say Jack, but I could give it to everybody, but not everybody, but like any of these singles matches. I don't know, Paul. I could give it to
I was
Paul.
going to say, probably my second favorite is probably Paul Orndorff.
Paul and Steve Austin
coming up on short notice to
are my
have that
two.
match with Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, minus the finish, which, of course, it should be a dirty finish between those two guys for a match that's not built up. But I want to see those guys fight forever. I want to see them fight for the heavyweight title, for Christ's sake.
Shane, you got an off-the-wall one for us, like you sometimes do?
Occasionally I do, but no.
Was it the Ice Train Smile?
It was similar to what both of you have said. You know, Shivani.
Yeah.
With his opening spot.
Shivani gets like the honorable mention,
that.
but it could have been a show. If it was any other Halloween Havoc, he could have been the MVP.
Yeah.
And luckily he wasn't, and we could argue about MVPs.
Yeah, it's tough to pick one. You know, Steve Austin again. You know, he was my best moment with his slap, so you know I could throw him on that list there. I mean, anyone from matches 2 through 8 could easily take the best performer shot. So.
Agreed. How about most surprising?
Did they even
that we got a Halloween Havoc that was good?
Yes, most definitely that. But they even thought to have Yoshi Kwan versus Steamboat. Ugh. Yuck. That should be on a house show or a fucking like TV taping at the.
I might want my money back if it was on a house show.
No shit. It better be a squash match. It's just three quick arm drags and a pin.
There was no. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No, the show
rocks. There wasn't anything super surprising.
Fucking rules.
Other than
what the fuck
all
was
those dusty
that
finishes
thing at the end of the first match.
And then we actually got a good one.
Yeah, like this is one of the most solid shows we've watched in quite a while. I think.
Agreed.
Like you said, you can complain about the finishes, but as far as like in-ring work, this is the card that I would want.
Quality.
That I want. Like I would watch this card again on the next pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. It's the same card, just
we all wish this card was on the next pay-per-view.
Same card with different finishes. I don't even care. With same card, all next clean finishes.
Making their way to the ring.
It's trivia time.
Hablame Jesus.
This week, the category is pay-per-feud.
We're back, and it's time to play the feud. Let's have it. Shock.
I will list the matches of a show. You guess the name and year of that show. The points are based on when you answer. So 5 points if you get it for the first match, so on and so forth, decreasing a point for each match given. So the first match I'm going to give you is Virgil versus Ted DiBiase for the $1 Million Championship.
I know that it is. I'm pretty sure that it is a specific show name, but that is not going to do me any good. I'm pretty good at being able to be like, oh, it's that the name. That's the name of the show because there's only like 7 show names. But years.
Would you guys like me to go to another match?
I'm letting Michael sit
I'm
on
just
it
gonna
for
gamble.
a second. Yeah,
I'm just gonna gamble.
I'm gonna let him because I
say,
think I know.
WrestleMania 5, which is 80. What is that? 90?
That is incorrect.
It's 89. Either way, it's incorrect.
I would have just taken WrestleMania 5.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
actually has a number.
Yeah.
I will say.
I feel like it's like if you're not gonna get it on that one, like I feel like that's it's like oh yeah, everyone should know when that match is, but I don't.
I'm trying to remember, was it a Mania?
I assumed it was a Mania because that seems like it should be a Mania match, but it could be a
Piper was
SummerSlam.
there.
It's probably not a Survivor Series.
I know Piper was there.
Yes, I know that for sure.
Virgil to get up.
Yes, Piper was great.
I'll say. Part of me wants to say it's Mania 7, which would have been 91.
WrestleMania 7
Woo!
is incorrect as well.
Oh man, I thought he had it.
SummerSlam 91.
It was SummerSlam 91.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was.
Man, it feels like it should be a Mania match, right?
The other matches on that show were Big Boss Man versus the Mountie in a jailhouse match.
Oh yeah, the one with all the lame prison jokes.
Legion of Doom versus the Nasty Boys in a street fight for the Tag Team Championship.
Probably disappointing.
Erwin R. Shyster versus Greg Valentine.
Oh, better than we thought it would be.
And Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior versus Colonel Mustafa General Adnan and Sergeant Slaughter in a handicap match with Sid Justice as the special guest referee.
You know, Desert Storm,
The
baby.
match made in hell.
And was that the match made in hell?
As opposed to Savage and Elizabeth
wasn't
getting
that-
married,
yeah.
the match made in heaven.
It wasn't the match made in the Middle East.
So no points for anyone this week.
We were ballsy, though. We waited. We didn't even take the second match.
I was
took a
one
chance.
pay-per-view away.
Yeah, you were. So I probably poisoned your mind with the Mania talk. But doesn't
Well,
it feel like a Mania?
I was already torn between, I couldn't remember if it was Mania or SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I was trying to remember who the hell did he fight at WrestleMania 7. So yeah, we'll just go for it. Oh well.
Actually, I think they did face against each other at WrestleMania 7.
Yeah. I
But
think
it
that
was
was
the-
the,
I think it was
initial
the-
match
the-
with Piper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one that has Piper, so it's the better one because Piper really made I think that match already DiBiase being shitty to Virgil or whatever, and Virgil got a pop for a really long time, even though he wasn't very good in the ring. But having Piper second him, I think, really added to the longevity of that pop.
Next week, ECW Hardcore TV from November 2nd, 1993.
It's hardcore.
That's what they say.
It's hardcore. What can I say?
It's a short one, guys. You can go out there and watch it. It's a fun one.
Yeah, it's like 28 minutes maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Music from this week's show is Declamation by Crisp Payne, and Vader won the main event, so we will play Afro Rock by Heavy Business. If you like this show or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts at. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, recipes,
Receipts.
you can always hit us up on our email at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com.
Are we on Spotify yet? Have we breached the Joe Rogan network that is Spotify?
Not as of yet.
Okay. How do we do that? I feel like
I have no
a lot of
clue.
people listen to. I'll see if I know anybody that has their podcast
Can
on
you
Spotify.
request people to be on Spotify? If so,
No,
go on
I
Spotify
think that-
and request us to be on Spotify.
We'll talk about it off mic, but I think that anybody can get a podcast on Spotify. You just might have to. I don't know. We'll look it up. There's a Google search away.
But you can also do that on Twitter at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.